wanted to show you today a pickled okra recipe from our Aunt Nelda. I do these for my mother-in-law. Miss Jane is not able to can anymore, and she used to love to do pickled okra. And so this is from the Mitchell Farms cookbook, who is Aunt Nelda's our aunt, and it's recipes from the Mitchell Farms kitchen, and it's for canning, freezing, and more. But she's just got a great recipe for pickled okra, so I wanted to share that with you. And so you can see she has a lot of different recipes, and you can look on mitchellfarms.com and find these books or call them to get a book. But right here is the pickled okra recipe, and I'll put that up near the screen so that you can see it. And I'll also include this pickled okra, an image of this at the end of the video. So just wanted to let you know you don't have to stop and write all this down, because it will be at the end of it. So we'll get started, and I'll just show you a little bit about what kind of okra to look for when you're pickling. One thing is, this pickled okra recipe is for smaller jars. So these are just pint jars. And what I do, it makes it a little easier if I just put it on its side. And then you're gonna arrange the okra, and you wanna try to find similar sizes of okra. And I've washed this, but it might have a few little blemishes on it. So I try to take those off. Not too much, but just take those off and get any dirt off or anything like that. And then I cut the top off again, and then I'll place this in the jar like so. And if I already have some like that, then I'll put it in the other way so that you can arrange it to fit as many in the jar as possible. You want to try to find the same size if you can, and you want to try to avoid the curly ones until the end, because they won't fit in the jar well. So you want to get as many as you can in there. But that'll get you started. You can see how full this jar is, because it's going to shrink some as you're putting in the vinegar and all the liquid and canning it. It's going to shrink a little bit, but I put the small ones on top, and I try to arrange them up and down as much as I can to get the most in the jar that's possible. So now we're at the point to where we're ready to process, and I put 1 clove of garlic in each jar, and I also put a hot pepper, and I use serrano chili peppers for this, but you can use jalapenos or pretty much anything. Also, you can get dill seed at the grocery store, but I happen to have dry dill, and so I gathered the seed in this and then put a half teaspoon in each pint. And I'm getting ready to put the mixture of vinegar, water, and salt on this, and then lid them and get them ready for the water bath canner. Then I boil the liquid, and I get it nice and hot. This is called a cold pack, and I'm using something, and you want to fill it up about halfway to the top, between the inch. Some people just do an inch, but on any pickled products that I do it to a ½ inch below the jar lid. Also want to mention that you need to use canning salt for this recipe. You don't want to have any iodinized salt or anything with any chemicals in it, because that would definitely cloud up your jars and not be very pretty. Now I'm getting ready to put the jars on the lids, and some of these are a little more full than I would probably like. But normally I do it about, I put the liquid in and about halfway up this last inch, so about ½ inch from the top. And then I've already boiled my lids for just a minute, and I've already wiped each with a clean paper towel. And so I'm going to roll this off, and these magnetic jar lid lifters are wonderful. Now I'm going to put on the last lid, and I've just taken it out of the hot water. And a lot of canners will tell you, people that can a lot, they don't have a whole lot of feeling in their fingers, so I can take that hot lid and just go ahead and put it right on there. Now, one thing this recipe did not show was going through the water bath canning process, but I would definitely do that just because it's an extra safety measure to kill bacteria. Now I'm going to water bath can my okra, because I feel like that extra step will really help kill the bacteria. And I already have it boiling, and this is my pressure canner that I'm using. You can use the old water bath canners, or you can use your pressure canner too, as long as it's tall enough to immerse the jars. So I'm taking those and I'm going to set them in here underneath the water, and they need to be at least an inch underneath water to water bath can. And you have taken your, and I'm just setting them evenly across, but you'll want to make sure that all of your jars are at least an inch underwater. An inch and a half really is what they recommend. And then I just put them all around so that they are not touching, and I can continue to heat the water to boiling, and I'm going to cover it. But after I heat the water to boiling, then I will time it, and I'll time it for 5 minutes. And 5 minutes should process for pints, and 10 minutes for any pickled items. That'll work 10 minutes for quarts. So now I'm going to cover it with my pressure pan lid, just to get the water nice and hot and while it's boiling. And after it starts boiling, then I'll time it for the 5 minutes, and then I'll be done with the process. After you water bath can them, it could take a few minutes to be able for the tops to suction out and for them to seal correctly. So I just wanted to let you know, and you can look at these that I've already done. The one right here has been sealed, and the others you can kind of see the tops are bucked up. So it'll take a few minutes because these are freshly out of the water bath canner. So I just wanted to mention that if they do not seal properly after a few hours, you do need to just stick those items in the refrigerator and eat them up within the next few weeks. So, but as long as they seal properly, you should be good to go, and they should last for about a year. And if you'll notice kind of at the bottom, it looks like there's a lot of water because they do tend to float right after you pressure can them. But just know that they will settle down and look normal again. But as you can see, I've also done pickles. These are Mama's candy pickles that I pickled earlier about a few days ago. And I also do a squash pickle. It's called a Zesty Bread and Butter. It's a Mrs. Wages mix, but it's really good with yellow squash. You have to use small yellow squash. You don't want to use the large stuff. But all of this is some of the pickling and canning that I've done this summer, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, look us up on Dirt Rich Education on YouTube or Facebook. We're stonycreek.farm. Thanks a lot.